I establish these relationships and these bonds with people because I just want people to understand that if you love somebody, then you should want to love them to life, that you should want to love them so much that you want to know that they have peace of mind and true peace of mind. So especially when we're looking at trans-identified people, even I tell parents, I get to talk to a lot of parents, and if you truly love someone who is trans-identified, then you're going to love them enough to want to know what happened to them to cause their condition. You're going to love them enough to want to tell them the truth. I remember when I was on my deathbed and my niece came in and she was like, "I love you, Uncle David." And I was like, "You love me to death?" She's like, "Yeah, I love you to death." And I was like, "That's the problem. Everybody around me loved me to death by not telling me the truth. They loved me to death with their silence or their participation in my delusions." And that's what I want everyone to understand, that I'm not going to ask for a show of hands, but I'm sure that most people in this classroom right here have someone in their life that is trans-identified, or at least a part of that movement, if they're not trans-identified or confused. So my question is, do you love that person enough to not partake of their delusion? Do you love them enough, even if you don't fully believe what I'm saying, do you love that person enough to take into consideration that what I'm saying might be the truth, might be fact? Because that is reality. Reality is that there are too many people out there that are dwelling within this mental illness. I see you, bro. That are dwelling within this and that need clarity in their lives. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, I don't think we're going to agree on the idea that it is mental illness. So beyond that, you say that transgenderism is mental illness. What, like, I guess my question is, why does it matter if someone wants to be transgendered, even if that is coming from like a place of like trauma or something like that? If that is their trauma response, why does that matter to everyone else?
So let's say that their trauma response is to cut their wrists. Is that okay? Would you promote that? Would you encourage that? Would you tell them it's okay? If you want to end your life, end it. Here's the razor blade. Here's a gun. Here's a bottle of pills. Because, okay. And I want you to just think about that. We don't have to agree on everything, but I want you to think about what I just said, because it's so important. Because we're talking about people. Why does it matter if it's a mental illness? And you can disagree with it, but by definition, dysphoria, the DYS means an abnormal condition. Phoria means mental confusion. So it is an abnormal condition of mental confusion. There's no getting around that. By definition, that's what it is. So because of that, and not all people who fall under the trans umbrella or fall under that trans identification are gender dysphoric, because there are other people who fall under that same umbrella, more dangerous people that are AGP or autogynephiles. These are people who are sexually aroused, not just by thinking of themselves as women, but by wearing women's clothing. These are also the men that are pushing and fighting for trans rights, that are getting placed into women's prisons and are going into women's spas and women's locker rooms. These are the men that are pushing that agenda. And why are they pushing it? Because these men are sexual deviants. So there's so many different people that fall under that trans identification umbrella, that the one thing that you can be sure of is that every single one of them suffer from their own type of mental disorder, from different types of mental disorders.